Good evening, Ponto de Luz. It's so good to be here on our Thursday. I'm going to ask you your kindness tonight so I can do our initial prayer only in Portuguese, okay? So tonight I'm going to do the initial prayer in Portuguese and the rest of the study in English. Hoje nós vamos fazer nossa oração em português, enviando as vibrações desta noite para o nosso querido Marcelo e uma família inteira que está, né, com a enfermidade do Covid. Então hoje vamos enviar essas vibrações de luz e de amor para todos os que estão nesse momento em dificuldades com a doença ou com alguma enfermidade. Vamos mandar vibrações de cura. Amado Mestre Jesus, Pai de infinita misericórdia, nós te agradecemos, Senhor, pela oportunidade de estarmos aqui nesta noite reunidos em prece. Envolva, Senhor, cada uma das pessoas e cada um dos lares. Receba nesta noite a tua presença, Senhor, curando os corpos físico e espiritual, fluidificando as águas, pacificando os lares e toda a humanidade que hoje sofre. Nós te pedimos, Senhor, que nesta noite, sob a proteção de Francisco de Assis, Maria Mãe Santíssima, nossos anjos guardiães e espíritos protetores, que estejamos envolvidos nas vibrações do amor do Cristo. E com a tua permissão, Senhor, abrimos o estudo do Livro dos Espíritos nesta noite. Que assim seja. So, here we are. This is the right way to start our evening, right? And we've been studying together. And tonight we have, we're going to continue with the progression of spirits. Very good that we came so far. Question 116. And we're very happy to be together studying the Spirits book, the first book of the codification, 1857. And on this chapter, we're giving you information that is crucial for you to understand that we're all under the law of progress. We're going to talk a lot about this tonight. Question 116. Are there spirits who remain forever in the lower orders? Remember, we studied the 3 orders, right? And we studied the progression of the spirits from the 3rd order to the 1st order, pure spirits. So on question 116, the spirits ask Kardec, are there spirits who remain forever in the lower orders? Meaning, they don't move on, they don't progress. And the spirits answered to Kardec, no, all will become perfect. No, all will become perfect. Our destiny is perfection. Nothing can stop that. We're all, and this is why I said to you like a couple of weeks ago, question 118 is one of my favorite ones from this whole spirits book. It's absolutely amazing because it gives us the understanding of that. So when the spirits tell Kardec that all of us, our destiny is perfection, is the most wonderful consolation. We fall, we get up, and we continue. This is our destiny. Our destiny is becoming pure spirits, becoming light. So they change, albeit slowly. For as we once said, a just and merciful Father cannot banish his children forever. Do you think that God, who is so great, so good, and so just, could be worse than yourselves? And this answer is just amazing, because this comparison is perfect, this metaphor. When a kid does something that is not so smart at the time, and we're evolving teenagers, right? So we know it. Um, when you do something, when a child is learning something and make mistakes, that parent's not going to be upset with that child forever, and deny them the learning curve, to go through the learning curve. And how can we think that God would be anything different than that? So, do you think that God, who is so great, so good, and so just, could be worse than yourselves? So, let's think about that. The Spiritism brought to us a vision of God, a God that is our Father, merciful, supremely just and good. So, that Father, that God, is all love and understanding. And we are not gonna, I'm advancing the questions here on this. We're not gonna, it's not gonna prevent this love, it's not gonna prevent us to fall, but it's gonna support us on getting up and continuing the journey, on the journey. It's like when a kid, and I've used this metaphor because it's the perfect metaphor. When a kid is starting to walk, and it starts crawling first, right? And then slowly walking and then running. If a mother or a father who is in charge of the care, is who's caring for that child, on that first attempt to walk, from crawling to walk, they would just say, they fall and they say, oh no, now you're going to stay tied to a chair so you don't have to fall again. What happens? That kid would never walk. It's important. The experiences that we go through makes us become what we're supposed to be. Knowing that our destiny is perfection, it's all part of the deal. We have to understand, and we have to see God as this caring Father that wants us to be happy, loved, in light, and perfect. Question 117. Does it depend on the spirits themselves to fasten their advancement towards perfection? If you have been seeing this, studying with us, you know the answer. What is the answer to this question? This answer is absolutely yes, of course. So, depends on the spirits to fasten their advancement? The answer is absolutely, for sure. The amount of time it takes them depends on their desire and submission to God's will. Desire and submission to God's will. Doesn't a well behaved child learn faster than one who is obstinate? It's in like everything in life. When we put our minds to do something, we're going to do it faster or slower depending on our willpower, our desire, our intention. So when we set up a goal, let's say, I want to lose 30 pounds. It can be slow, continuously, but it can be faster depending on how I will plan to reach that goal, as everything in life. This is an example. So if we set up the goals and we march towards progress, which we are, independently of us wishing or not, it's the law of progress. It's like gravity. We can't avoid it. We're under it. It's a law, and we're all subject to it. If I throw this pencil, it will fall, and that's gravity. And the law of progress is absolute, no exception. So Going faster or slower, it depends on us. A child goes to school, fails one time, fails a second time, fails a third time. It's going to grasp the content at one point, but slower than one that passed the first time, that got all the concepts and passed the tests, the assessments, and moved on. So it's on us, our responsibility. Question 118. Can spirits regress? And I will tell you why this question is so important to me. Because years ago, when I read this question, it really hit me in a way that I said, wow, this is really amazing. It's a sort of, like I said, comfort and consolation that we know that we're always marching towards progress. Question 118. Can spirits regress? And the answer is no. As they progress, they gain an understanding of what is holding them back from perfection. When a spirit finishes a particular trial, it never forgets the knowledge it acquired. A spirit may remain stationary, but it never regresses. Isn't that wonderful? As they progress, they gain an understanding of what is holding them back from perfection. Let's break this down. So they understand, getting the knowledge. Once you get the knowledge, it's impossible to not know it. You've seen that there is dirt on that wall. Once you've seen it, you're going to take a step to remove it, but you've seen it. Now you acknowledge. Now it exists for you. When you acknowledge something, that something is reality to you. Starting on that moment, I've been talking to my friend Julie for this whole past week about it. When we acknowledge something, that's the moment that it starts existing. And the Spirit's book in 1857 brought this concept to us. As they progress, they gain an understanding of what's holding them back from perfection. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to fix, right? You know what it is. Next step. When a spirit finishes a particular trial, it never forgets the knowledge it acquired. You learned a lesson, especially the ones through pain. These are unforgettable, right? When something happens and you feel pain, you will not willingly, consciously try to feel that pain again. You will try to avoid it, most cases, right? When a kid puts the finger into the wall, the electricity, right, into one of the once anything, no, nothing is plugged, and they go with their finger there, and they get to feel the electricity. They're not going to put their finger again. They learned. We went through a hole on the road. Our car got the hit. We're going to try to avoid that hole the next time. We had an experience in life that was not so pleasant. We're going to try to, getting the knowledge of it, understanding that, we're going to try to avoid going through the same situation over and over again. So it never forgets the knowledge it acquired. And we carry that knowledge through lives. It's not only one life. We believe in reincarnation. So we have it on us. We have the knowledge on us. A spirit may remain stationary, but it never regresses. Before years ago, when I read this the first time, I thought it was possible to regress. I thought that if I did something really, really, really bad, I would say, oh my God, I moved back. And when I read this, I understood that even the trials, the atonements, the things that we call unsuccessful, we learn from it and we move forward. And this is the beauty of understanding it. Nothing comes to our bed. Everything in life, even the hard things, even the diseases, even the loss of a loved one, even um, losing your job or something that at the moment seems, oh my God, this is not good. In the end, you're gonna see and understand that all came through for a reason. And your understanding and your grasping the lesson, not being a person that complains and gets bitter through it. But if you accept the God, that's what it was on the question before, acceptance of God's wishes, and you understand that there is a purpose on that experience, then you really got to move forward. And in certain events, and I must say that, when a spirit had a plan in this life and came to live, I knew somebody that went through this, unfortunately, um, was doing so many things that were compromising his life, compromising his learning. So even though he had a plan, there was a plan. The his plan of his incarnation was longer. He was taken from the physical body, younger, and suddenly. And when the family went to be with Devaldo, very good friends with the Devaldo, and they asked, why did that happen to him? And he said to that family, that was God's mercy. He was doing so many things that were just really, really gonna make him lose completely the opportunity of what had he had acquired in goodness and in virtues and in everything was going to be, he was getting to a point that everything that he was doing was so against that he was taken from the physical body with the mercy of God and the good spirits that intervened so he would not compromise the rest of his life on that pattern that he was going. So even um, um, not being on the physical body was mercy, was mercy, and everything that is God's mercy. When we understand and we accept and we surrender to it, we are happy because anything that comes to us, we're gonna deal with. Something happened that is not apparently good, we're gonna deal with it because we trust God. We have faith. We understand that nothing happens by chance in this wonderful multiverse that we live in. And we're given a chance, a wonderful and blessed opportunity to progress. So, question 118 says it all. There is no regressing, it's only progress, it's only marching towards perfection. And we must grasp that, hold it tight, and live accordingly. Don't get desperate, something happened. Don't get frustrated. No. The waves in the ocean. The tides are going to be low, high tides one other day. And that is life. And that is all part of the big ocean of life. So, as we understand, and let's go back to this question 116. No, it's the 117th. The amount of time it takes them depends on their desire and submission to God's will. The more we are an understanding of God's will and acceptance of that, the happier we will be. No doubt about it. The happiest people in life, they're not the ones that have more gold and more possessions and more riches. No. We see people, there is a photographer, I don't know the name of it, but of her, but she photographed a lot of people in India in their regular activities, but all with happy faces, all with smiles on it, and so happy and in conditions of extreme poverty. But these people had the light. Their faces were lit, not for the picture, because she was just photographing, and she was surprised. How can you be so happy when you look around and see that everything is so difficult and there's so much need of everything? But they understand the concept of happiness. Happiness is not what you have, it's what you are, right? And submission to God's will. That's key. Now, so isn't question 118 the utmost? I think it's just like wonderful. And if we get in trouble, like my friend did, they're always watching over us. The spirits that helped us plan this life, they're always watching over us. They're always holding our hands and making sure that we get inspired to do good. And when something is more drastic, like what his situation was, his life was cut short to his own benefit. And the family now, when Devaldo said that, they understood and they accepted. Question 119. We still have time. Could God exempt spirits from the trials that are required of them to reach the first order? Could God exempt spirits from the trials that are required of them to reach the first order? So, could you skip? Can we skip winter and go straight to spring? Of course not. So, the answer of the spirits on this question is amazing. If they had been created already perfect, they would not deserve to enjoy the benefits of that perfection. You gotta love it. They would not deserve to enjoy the benefits of that perfection. Everything in life is an achievement. It doesn't come like from the skies. There is work that was done either on this life, on a previous life, but everything that we have and every resource that we enjoy is because we deserve. God is not unfair, supremely just and good. One of the characteristics of God. Where would the merit be without the struggle? Right? We want to skip that. We want to skip the winter and get straight to summer, get straight to spring. It's not like that. You have to go through the phases and you have to get the knowledge so you can move. So, besides, the inequality among them is necessary for their personality to develop, while the missions entrusted to them in the various degrees of the scale reside in the designs of providence for ensuring the harmony of the universe. How beautiful this is. Everyone needs some sort of learning for their personality to develop. And the world doesn't need everyone to be a painter or a teacher or a dentist or a doctor. No, we need all sorts of skills to maintain the harmony of the universe. Imagine if we didn't have one of them. It's like the organs of your body. You cannot live without the lungs. You cannot live without the heart. They're all different. They are all executing their functions with perfection. And every single one needs to go through the struggles, go through the process. We can't skip our processes. They go through the process so they can develop. And that's what the spirits told Kardec. So the inequality is necessary for their personality to develop, while the missions entrusted to them in the various degrees of scale reside in the designs of providence for ensuring the harmony of the universe. And then there's the sub answer, right? The small letters, we know that. Since it is possible for everyone in societal life to reach the highest positions, we might just as easily ask why sovereigns of countries do not make generals of every one of their soldiers. Why all entry-level employees are not made supervisors, or why all students are not professors. There is, however, one distinct difference between societal life and spirit life, in that the former is limited and does not always allow everyone to reach the highest degree, whereas the latter is unlimited and it assures everyone of the possibility of reaching the highest position. So, this is the one distinct difference between societal life and spirit life, because in society, not everyone will get to the higher, the soldiers, or not all soldiers will become generals. But in spiritual life, in the spiritual realm, all of us will reach that perfection. And that is wonderful. It's wonderful to understand that. It's wonderful to really have that in you, that it's your job to do your work, to follow your processes of becoming the best version you can be, to become perfect. Relative perfection, as the spirits say, because the absolute perfection is God. So, we are almost done. So I almost went over my time, but we had a wonderful time together, and I appreciate all of you that come to pray and study with us, to learn one thing, one little thing that we take with us for the week until we see each other next week is important. And just the fact that we're all here in good health, that we're all here with a roof over our heads, with the possibility of seeing, of listening, hearing. It is such a blessing, uncounting blessings that we have. So let's thank God for those blessings, for these blessings in our lives. Dear God, we thank you for being with us through this evening, through this week. And we ask you, Lord, to provide that we have a wonderful night, restful, in good health for the following days. Protect us, Lord. Be with us, now and always. So be it. And my heart is filled with gratitude for having you as company to study the Spirit's book every Thursday. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. And on Sunday, we have our study at noon, 12, in Portuguese. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you next Thursday.